Hello, one and all, and welcome to my channel. Hello. So, I don't know if there's anyone watching this who probably recognizes my voice. I used to have another YouTube channel. Yes, I started YouTube under a name Mr. TARDIS 11. Then that changed to Pajak's Perspective, and I did movie reviews on camera, and I did various other reviews and sketches on other channels. The Pajak's Perspective channel that I used to have is still up, if you wish to see some of that visual content. But to all of you who are returning, welcome back. I am new, and this is a new style. It's a very basic style. It's much more watered down than what it used to be. Mainly because of logistics, because I don't have time to do videos and everything else, like visually. So I decided to create a podcast channel. So to those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Ollie, and this is Pajak's Podcasts, where I will be doing podcast reviews of movies, and also rankings of movies. So it's just my own personal opinion, a chance to have fun and discuss about the movies. So yeah, welcome all, welcome all. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Content will come as regularly as it can. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. So, today's movie of choice is Planet of the Apes. From 1968. Directed by Franklin J. Schaffner, starring Charlton, Heston, Roddy McDowell, Kim Hunter, and Linda Harrison. Obviously, it's no secret to say that the reason for this movie being reviewed is the fact that the new film is releasing later this year. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It's been quite a few years since I've seen these movies. I mean, I'm a big fan of Planet of the Apes. I love the franchise. The movies overall, I think, are a very mixed bag in terms of quality. It's no secret to say that the first movie is regarded as the best or one of the best in the whole franchise. And the series has now been, well, since 2011, has been rebooted and has carried on and is still carrying on now that Disney owned Fox. Disney are trying to keep the franchise going. But let's go back to the beginning, where it all started. So, the basic plot synopsis of Planet of the Apes is as follows. An astronaut crew crash lands on a planet where highly intelligent non-human ape species are dominant and humans are enslaved. Planet of the Apes. Well, I gotta tell you, this is a great movie. This is a phenomenal film. It's a fantastic start to this series, and it's not the sort of film you would expect. It's a film that appears to mislead you in the sense that it appears to be this huge spectacle, apes versus humans, like a big, huge battle, but it's really not. At its core, Planet of the Apes is a political drama. It's not an action movie. There is action in this movie. There is what you would call an intimate spectacle, but it's not necessarily high octane, high brow. It's not like on the scale of like Lord of the Rings or something. It's not that epic. There's definitely a very dramatic story at its core. And I think what I really like about this film is the political story. The fact that it is very much a story about how man has evolved and how it takes the idea of evolution, of how the human man evolved from apes and kind of spins it on its head, and how now man evolved into apes. So everything's a little bit reversed here. And of course, this movie gives us one of the most iconic movie twists in human history. I won't say what it is, but I'm pretty sure you guys know what the twist is. If you've seen the posters and if you've seen the DVD, why on earth the marketers thought that putting the twist at the end on the DVD was a good idea, I don't know. When people saw it in 1968, they probably were like, oh wow, this makes so much sense now. There is that constant thread of who is the dominant species here and who came first, etc., etc. And I think that the drama is what makes this movie very interesting. There's a whole section of the second act where Taylor is on trial, and he's a prisoner. He's a prisoner of the apes, and he's on trial. He has to kind of fight for his own species, and the world that he knows is obviously very different because he's travelled in space with his crew. His crew obviously aren't with him, so he has to, try to explain to Dr. Zaius and everybody else about how man has evolved on his planet and how it differentiates to this. And it gets pretty brutal. There's a lot of violence parts of this film. People get whipped and bruised and tortured and beaten. It's pretty intense when you think about it. The apes aren't portrayed as this angelic species. They are portrayed to be kind of nasty in some respects. There are a couple of nice characters, of course, like Cornelius and Zera, who are a couple, and also their nephew Lucius. They're the nicest characters in the story, and they do try to understand Taylor's point of view, and they do try to see where he's coming from. And Taylor's not trying to discredit the apes intentionally. He's just trying to make them understand his theory of evolution and how everything was, how everything he knew evolved. And that's why it's so fascinating when the characters end up going to the Forbidden Zone towards the end of the movie, when they find the doll. And, Taylor's like, if, would an ape really make this doll talk? What the hell? Surely there's got to be more to this than meets the eye. And the movie ends on the cliffhanger, obviously, and it leaves the door open for more resolution. So not everything is resolved. There's still more answers to be had, but we get the whole context of, Taylor's dilemma. Well, the world that he has stepped into doesn't feel like the world he knows, but maybe it is actually a bit closer to home than he realizes. The spectacle of this film is incredible. The makeup is just sensational. The actors look so good. Even to this day, you can see the makeup is, clearly very expensive, and clearly no expense was spared in the making of this film. And all of the action sequences are really well done, especially the scene with the nets in the grass when the apes are capturing the humans. And there's obviously this tribe of humans as well who can't talk. They're muted, and I think that's very interesting. It's again, like I said, flipping the whole idea of what creature is primitive in this universe, and I think it's just very clever. And when you get to that political trial, you really can't understand why they're accusing Taylor of what they're accusing him for. They think he's some kind of abnormal mutant, but he's just someone who's traveled from the stars, and he tries to explain that, but obviously doesn't really surface. And there's also other sequences like Taylor trying to escape the prison, and he says the famous line of "Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty apes." And when he starts talking, that's when the conflict intensifies, of course. And again, the drama's just so riveting. It's only 1 hour 50 minutes, but it keeps itself moving at a fantastic pace. And the cinematography is beautiful. The location that they've used for this film is fantastic. It's like this huge beach kind of cliffside and also desert wasteland. There's such a kind of emptiness about the movie. It gives a huge sense of scale and scope. And it's a good reference point for research if anybody wants to take an interest in scales within film and how to manipulate scale. It's something that I'm going to refer to when I do my research for my degree. The music by Jerry Goldsmith is also very, very good, very dramatic, adds a lot of tension and drama to the film, and the set design is great. So I think it's beautifully crafted. There's definitely a very polished aesthetic to this movie, and it is impressive, to say the least. And Franklin J. Schaffner's direction, it's good, it's tight, it keeps things moving. As for the cast, we got some fantastic performances. Like Charlton Heston is a good actor. I mean, you could argue some of his delivery is a little bit over the top. However, I feel like he suits the character of Taylor. He's that kind of charming, dashing hero. Although the character is just kind of caught up in all this. He's not necessarily a character who changes very much. I mean, I suppose the arc being at the end is more the realization that the world around him has changed, and he has to come to terms with that. But there's not much substance to his character in terms of who he is. He is just an astronaut. So maybe they could have fleshed out some of his character a little bit more. You obviously have Kim Hunter as Zera. She's fabulous. She really is charming. She might well be the best performance of the movie in a lot of ways. Roddy McDowell as Cornelius. He's going to be the most regular cast member of this franchise, and he's terrific as Cornelius. And the two of them have a brilliant chemistry. And they're just such a delightful couple, and we'll see more of them, certainly in the third movie, Escape from the Planet of the Apes. And Maurice Evans as Dr. Zaius. Dr. Zaius. Oh, Dr. Zaius. He's good. He's a very good antagonist. And again, that's the thing about the writing, is that the apes, while they do horrible things, they're not necessarily antagonists. They're not savages. They're highly intelligent beings, and they are sophisticated. They just see the humans as savages. Again, the perspective flip is really interesting. And you've obviously got Linda Harrison as Nova, who is, just an absolute gorgeous girl. She's gorgeous to look at. And her performance is fascinating too, because she doesn't speak. She's muted. And she forms a brief connection with Taylor. I guess it's kind of romantic. They tried to edge it in that direction. He pretty much reveals he has the hots for her. But her intelligence isn't quite there with his. And again, like I said, making the apes more intelligent than the humans, in this case, is the more interesting thing. But I think she's good as well. She will be in the next one, of course, so we'll see more of her. But, fantastic performances overall. So yeah, this movie is a stunning work of art, and it really did start a brilliant franchise. And again, what keeps it going for me is the political drama and the political commentary on what it's trying to do. And I think if you really delve into the psyche of it, it's fascinating. It's got some exciting scenes in it, but I wouldn't describe it as an action movie. I wouldn't say it packs as much of an emotional punch as some of the newer films, but, for what it's trying to do, it's a very interesting political drama, and the tension is just there throughout, and a brisk pace. It is a fantastic movie. So I think I'm going to give Planet of the Apes a 10 out of 10. I think it's really, really good. And for you new viewers, my rating system is going to be out of 10. So if that's what you were wondering, that's what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, that's my overall thoughts on the original Planet of the Apes movie. What do you think of it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please comment down below, let me know. And please keep your comments civil and respectful, and then we'll get along just fine. Any nasty comments, any hostility will be removed. I don't have time for that shit, I'm afraid. And we will continue the Planet of the Apes reviews with the next movie, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, which is going to be, which I'm going to be watching and reviewing very, very soon. So, until then, thank you very much all for watching this review. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and stay tuned for more podcasts to come in the future. So until then, take care. See ya.